and then, sorry, I don't know why it does that out loud. Anyway, happy Saturday. We're going to do a really easy, light networking hour. These are my favorite kind of power hours because they go really fast. They're really easy, and they're really simple, but they're really effective. Networking is the first step in my process for inviting, and it's probably one of the most important ones, I think, when you're really trying to build, when you're trying to hit Success Club, when you're trying to hit rank, when you're just really trying to find people. This is the way that you do it. And if you do this every single day in some form or fashion, then you will discover that you have so much more opportunity to talk to people and add to your pipeline. And that's really the whole key. So for those of you that have never done a power hour with me, I believe that inviting is a 3-step process. It's not just, oh my gosh, there's a person I've never seen before, let's message them. It's all about networking intentionally, meaning you are going out and looking for people who would be interested specifically in what you're doing. It's in connecting with those people. That's the second step, connection. Connecting with those people that do find you, that follow you, that discover you really intentionally or because of the work that you're personally doing in networking, and then getting to a point where that connection is made so you have the opportunity to invite. So those are 3 steps that I'm focused on all the time. They're just kind of natural to me at this point now. So it all sort of just feels like working my business, which is really the point, right? Like you want to get to a point. My goal when I first started coaching people was to get people to a point where people started just coming to them. They would have to go out less and people would just start coming to them. That was the whole goal. That was my intention when I started to build. And I would tell myself, okay, I got to go out now because I got to build a following. I got to build my audience. And this was all on Facebook, right? I got to build connections and I have to make people aware that I'm here. And I think that that's an uncomfortable thing for a lot of people because we spend a lot of our life being like, I want everyone to know I'm here, but I don't want to do anything that's going to like make everyone know that I'm here. Do you know what I mean? It's just sort of it's this weird thing. So learning how to go out and network, honestly, you guys, the more value you put out there, the less afraid you are of this. If you really have a strong message that you know would help someone, and like one day you wake up and you have a really fire day where you're like, this is my message, this is what I'm doing. Networking is where it's at, because the more you network on days like that, the more you're going to find people in your niche, the more you're going to find people that are really connecting to the power of your message, that isn't so powerful every single day. We try for it to be, but on the days that are really strong specifically, if you really dive into networking, you're going to start finding you're bringing people in that really matter, right? And that's the whole point of networking. So I'm going to share my screen. I already posted the tracker in the chat if you don't have it, and I'll post it again at the end. And then we will get going. Okay. So again, this is an easy networking hour. There's nothing crazy about it. This is something any coach can do, even if today is your first day of coaching, which I love. So I start almost all of my power hours with a post. We're going to work on Instagram first and then go to Facebook a little bit. So these little notes up at the top are just, if you printed this, you can write down little nuggets. I like to write down the things that are the most effective. So if you found an exercise where you're like, oh, this is like working, you can write it down, or just any little notes. Okay. So the very first thing we're going to do is create a morning post. Here's what I want you to really pay attention to in this post this morning. I want it to add value. And what I mean by that is it's something that can be savable by somebody else, shareable by somebody else, and is hashtagable, meaning there's a specific set of hashtags you can use for this specific topic. So instead of just like posting a picture of yourself and being like, good morning, here's my story, here's what I'm doing. Instead, what I want you to do is think about what you're passionate about helping people do. And I want you to find a quote. I want you to find a tip. I want you to find a mindset. I want you to find a recipe, whatever it is, something that people can save and use later. That's really the goal. Okay. And then what I mean by hashtagable, if you post a recipe, super hashtagable recipes, daily recipe now, healthy eating, healthy recipes, right? Like you can literally niche it down so far. Like it's super easy to hashtag. So I'm going to give us 10 minutes to work on this. I want you to find something that is really on message with who you are and what you're trying to put out there, whatever it is. I want you to use hashtags that are destined for the people who need to read it, right? So if you, for example, if you post something about anxiety relief, right? You post it to the anxious mama, anxious people, anxiety club. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you want to niche it down really far. We're going to use 3 of those hashtags later in the power hour. So I want you to write down maybe your top 3 hashtags. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes and we're going to go ahead and post. We're going to do this one on Instagram and then we'll go from there. I just wanted to give you guys a quick tip. If you're struggling with this, shareable content, savable content, generally it doesn't have like pictures of your kids in it. It's usually just like a text only because that's easy for people to just save, right? So if you're struggling with this, there's a really simple hack for it. Whatever you're wanting to post about, if you just go into your search tab and you search for that keyword in a tag, it'll pull up a ton of content around that specific topic. So again, if you did like recipes, right, it'll pull up all the recipes, food recipes, healthy recipes, whatever it is. And you can literally just look at all the pictures that have been posted and you can repost something. Super simple, right? You can either screenshot it and credit the person who posted it originally, or you can use like a repost app, but that's really a great way to do this in a very quick manner. Okay. Or yes, like Yvonne said, the BB blog is also really good. If you just log into the Beachbody blog, there's so much content on that. And it's on topic, right? It's Beachbody stuff, which is what you want. Okay, we're gonna go to the next thing. So I'm gonna teach you guys the thing that's working the most effectively for me right now to expand my audience, to get more followers, to get more friends on Facebook. Um, so the hashtags right now are important, but I don't want that to stress you out because hashtags stress me out. And what I started to realize is the more hashtags you use that are geared around what you're going through, like what's happening in the season of your life, over like trying to hit ones that you think you should be putting there. Does that make sense? So like if you start to really use the season of your life as inspiration for your hashtags, your posts, your chapters, I guess, if you will, in this journey that you're trying to put out there, right? The whole goal is to put your story to work. So what you want to do is try and attract people who are in the same season as you. So if you're having a lot of anxiety lately, if you're having like the toddler life, if you are a mom who is now like an empty nester, if you are a dad who like hates his career and wants to start working from home, misses his family, whatever it is, like really think about the season of life that you're in. And I promise you guys, like people in that same season are going to resonate so much with what you're posting, because what we post is about our life. What we post is our daily stuff, right? So it's naturally just going to kind of blend those things together. And I'm going to show you guys how to use that. So first, we do a post so that everybody that we network with is going to see an on point, on niche post. The first thing they're going to see when they go to your page is that what you just posted. So that's why it's so important to do that right before a networking session, right? And then in your Instagram stories are kind of weird right now. They're not getting a lot of views because of reels. So what I've been trying to do is kind of reinvent my stories and use them for personal development. I've literally just been posting quotes, value, recipes, like every text thing that's shareable, savable, that's related to whatever's going on with me, I try and put in my stories. I'm trying to do less talking in there and more talking on my profile, and just really just reusing my stories for something else. It's still a great resource to connect. So what we're going to do is, and I still do polls on it every day because it's a way to continue talking. Wherever I'm posting, I'm always trying to open the door and create opportunity for interaction, right? Like we're trying to create conversations and you're trying to get people to talk to you. So whatever platform you're posting on, that's really always the goal. So with Instagram stories, what I want you guys to do is I want you to create a poll in 3 slides, just like a text only poll. And I want you to focus on introducing a topic in your first one, right? So you can even write, I'm going to give you an example in a second, but introduce a topic, give your opinion on it in the second slide. And then on the third slide is take a poll and ask for feedback, ask the question. So a really simple example of this would be in my first slide, I could introduce a topic and I could just write coffee. Okay, and they're like, coffee, what does that mean? Why did she write that word? And then the next slide would be give your opinion on it. And then you can write about like how coffee influences your life, right? Again, this is just an example. And then third, the feedback or the poll could be, are you reliant on caffeine? Are you reliant on coffee every day to start your day, right? And that opens up a whole door and a whole window and a whole plethora of things that you could talk about health wise. Why do we need caffeine, right? What's going on with your body if you need that kick every single day? The addiction part of it, how much you're drinking, right? Like you can open the door to a million different things. So I'm going to give you guys, it's going to be quick, 5 minutes. And I want you to create a 3 slide poll. Okay. While you guys are creating that, I'm just going to give you guys a hack for those of you that don't know this. it's like changed my whole life with these stupid polls. If you take a picture of anything when you open your story and then you click on the little squiggly line and you pick whatever color you want your slide to be, and you literally, like I just took a picture of my face, you just click the squiggly line, so you're gonna write on it, right? You pick the picture and you literally just hold it down and it changes the whole screen. So you have a blank screen. I know, it's awesome, right? Okay. Okay, that was fast 5 minutes. So as I explain the next one, you can finish up. I did a really simple one. And just in general, you guys, I usually like to keep my polls really light. I don't like to go into like really hardcore topics. And if I do, then I usually do a video instead of text, just because then they can feel sort of the tone of what you're trying to put out there. It's really important when you're working on social media to keep what you're doing in the realm of entertainment or education. And if you can keep it in one of those two, it's going to be a little bit more successful. And it's also going to help you guys just stay a little more on track. So this next exercise is really learning how to network with your recent followers. This is a really simple but effective way to wake up every day and capture, especially when you're doing networking power hours, to capture your new audience quickly and establish a culture of conversation. That's really another big part of my goal, is establishing an open door so people feel comfortable talking to me as quickly as possible. So if you go onto your Instagram homepage and you click on your followers, it's going to pull up the people who followed you the most recently first. And what I want you to focus on is, this is a very intentional exercise. I want you to look for people to follow back. I want you to look for people and write down people's like I put a little thing right here on this sheet right here to write down handles that you want to follow up with. So no, I don't keep track of every single person that follows me, right? But if I go through when I'm doing this exercise and I see somebody that's like, oh my gosh, that is my girl, like that is one of my clients, right? Because after a while, you get to know sort of who is attracted to you and who's gonna join. Like you start to recognize it. If somebody's like that, you put their hashtag here or their handle here, so you can go back and message them or support them in a stronger way, follow them, like really intentionally connect with them, intentionally network with them. But what I want you guys to do is just go through your recent followers. I want you to find some people who have just recently started following you. And I want you to do one of these things at least once. Okay, these are all different ways that you can network with your followers. So I just want you to practice each one. And then whichever one, again, that you find is the most effective for you can put it up here and be like, this works, right? So you can follow them back. You can DM or support them. You can like 3 to 5 of their photos on their profile page. You can leave a comment on their latest post. One thing that I've really started doing, which I love, that's so easy, you guys, is to comment on their story. So when you pull up your friends list, you can see who has a story by looking at their profile picture, and if it has that ring around it, you can actually just click on it. So here's the page, right? Here's all your followers. You can actually click on their profile picture and it pulls up their profile. So it's really easy. And then you just click the back button and it goes back to your list. So it's a really easy way to work from your list. But if you click on the ones that have a story, if you click on their profile picture, it pulls up their story. And you can literally just leave a comment on their story. And that generally gets people's attention pretty quick. Okay, so I'm going to give us a few minutes to go in and try and do each one of these exercises at least once with a recent follower. Okay. Okay, this is easy, right? It's like not a big deal. Okay, so my favorite thing again right now is commenting on people's stories. Again, you guys, these specific, it's so important to understand what you're doing, so you don't feel like you're just on social media doing nothing. Like this is every single thing that I do and teach is very intentional. There's always going to be a return on the investment, an ROI. You're going to get something back for everything that you're doing, especially if you do this continuously. Okay. This specific thing creates connection, it creates that conversation culture, and it creates safety, right? And what I love about this is when you start interacting with people on their stuff rather than trying to comment or tag them on your stuff, it sends kind of a different message, right? It sends a message of, oh my gosh, she's willing to come or he's willing to come over to my page and be in my house and like support me. That's important. Okay. Okay. So here is the next quick exercise. This is going to be a 2-minute thing because I want to make sure we have enough time for everything. This is just kind of an inventory that I do. I probably do this once a week. But I want you to go to your homepage on your Instagram account again. And this time I want you to go into who you're following. And I just want you to take a quick, what's the word? Survey of who can't we afford to lose and who can we? Okay, so anybody that doesn't have a profile picture, I would unfollow. If you have somebody in there that doesn't have a profile picture, they're not active on Instagram, like create space for somebody else. Okay, this exercise and this practice is really important. This will keep your social media environment up to date, in season, right? And moving. Movement creates momentum. So if you're creating a flow with who you're following, it's going to help you stay on track. It'll help you unfollow accounts that no longer serve you and start following accounts that do. That is so important. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I just want you to do a quick survey, unfollow anybody that's no longer serving you. Maybe take a note and again, write down a handle of somebody that's like, oh my gosh, that looks like somebody that I didn't even realize I was following. I need to go network with that person. Write their handle down. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you guys the most effective exercise that I found to build a following. And I can say this with absolute confidence because I created a brand new account with 0 followers with one topic in mind the other day, just to test some of these theories, to test some of this Instagram stuff and see how much I could grow. And in a week and a half, let me just look at this. In a week and a half, I made 45 posts. Think about this. In a week and a half, I did 45 posts and I gained 272 followers. Okay. And it was honestly, you guys, it was from posting 100% shareable, savable content. It's text only. There's no photos of me or anything else. It's literally text only. And I used relevant hashtags dedicated to that specific topic. And then I did this exercise and it was awesome. And I gained almost 300 followers in a week and a half. Okay. So what I love about this, and obviously, like, I'm sure this will become something in the future, but for right now, there's no penalties for liking photos, like, or comments on people's photos. Okay. So here's what I do. I've really been trying to use big accounts, big hashtags that are related to my niche, right? So if there's an account that you follow, a person that you follow that's in your same industry, that's doing what you want to be able to do one day, that does something really well that you want to get better at, this is where you would go to kind of network this way. This is, again, a networking technique, but what I love about this is it also creates a connection pretty quickly. Okay, so what you're gonna do is I want you to pull up either one of those 3 hashtags that's within your niche, but I actually think going to someone's page is better. I want you to go to, let's just start with your most favorite page on Instagram. It has to be like a mentor or somebody that you look up to, like where you go for personal development on your Instagram. Where do you go? Like, what page do you love? It can be another big fitness person. That's probably ideal. That's not in the Beachbody realm. Just find, like, go to the person's page or the page where you go to for inspiration that, like, really speaks to you. Does everybody have it? And I want you to pull it up on your Instagram. Okay, so here is the goal. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your person's page. Let me just pull up someone. I didn't do it while you guys were all doing it. And I want you to look for a post that has really good conversation going. A post that has a ton of comments on it. It really can be anything, but it's more ideal if it's related to something you've recently talked about or that you talk about a lot on your Instagram handle, right? So for this, so I went to the mindset therapy page because I love it. And I do a lot of mindset work on my page. The very first post is surround yourself with people who align with your vision, people you can learn from, people who push you to become better, right? It's kind of like a more generic post, but there's 172 comments on it. So I'm going to pull up all those comments. This is really simple. And you literally just hit that little heart and you like every single comment in the thread. It takes 1 or 2 minutes, super simple. Just make sure you're not liking the page creators' responses, because then you'll, like, it'll notify the page creator like a million times, right? So you just want to make sure you're liking people's comments that are on the content that you like. And I'm just going to do this with you while you guys are doing it. So what this does is every single time you guys like someone's comment, it sends them a notification and says, Coach Jace liked your comment. And guess what they're going to do? Who's Coach Jace? I've never seen this girl before. They're going to go to my page. That's what you want. And you want them to go to your page and instantly what? Connect with the content. This is why, like, staying on your message and really sharing your story and being authentic is so important. If you're posting just to post, If you're posting what everyone else is posting because that's what you think you need to do as a Beachbody coach, this is going to fall flat. Everything you do is going to fall flat. It's never going to land. It's not going to connect. Okay. But this one exercise, I literally did this and I used hashtags and that's all I did. And I grew that following on that page to 280 followers. Now listen, there has to be an element of value. I wouldn't have gained followers if my content sucked, right? Or was boring or wasn't interesting or wasn't savable, wasn't shareable. And what I also noticed on that, because that's what I always look at with content is have people shared it, have people liked it, is less important to me. It's did they share it or did they save it? And what's so cool about this is the content that was saved, that was shared, every single one of those 47 posts, 45 posts that I made, I can't remember how many it was either saved or shared multiple times, right? So I found a topic, I found the audience that really likes that topic, and then I kept it really simple. Text only, shareable, valuable content. To me, this was just an exercise of listen, like I've been doing this for 10 years, but if I can start an account out of nothing and just use the techniques that we teach, and I can gain that big of a following, that's that loyal, that's that connected in that short of amount of time, no one has an excuse here. Put the effort in. If you don't have a solid message, full stop. Full stop on whatever you're doing, and your full-time job becomes what's my message? Why am I here? What am I trying to help people with? Choose your topic, choose your niche, right? One thing I love about Brock Johnson is that's something that he taught me, because finding my niche and finding my customer was always like a really difficult thing for me. But he's like, listen, you don't find it, you choose it. Choose something that you're passionate about. Think back on your own journey. What transformed your life? Like, what was it? And what in your life actually transformed? Was it physical? Was it emotional? Was it spiritual? Was it financial? Was it like what was it? What transformed for you in such an intense way that you were like, I have to be a Beachbody coach and share this? That's where you start. Okay? So this exercise, what I love about it is it takes less than a minute, right? Which is my jam. You can do it multiple times a day. You're not going to get flagged on Instagram for liking too many people's stuff, right? That's what they want. This, every single time you do that is like leaving your business card. Not only that, you guys, but here's my tip. If you heart the comment and then you also comment on it, and you coach out loud and you like start finding people in these comment sections that are like, oh my gosh, like that's really good feedback. And you just start joining the conversation. Can I tell you how impactful that is for you as the leader, as the CEO, as the boss, right? Like keep your mindset high, keep your worth and your value right in the forefront. You have worth, you have value. People like that. They want that. They want to see it. Okay. Okay. So we're going to shift a little bit over to Facebook. We have 15 minutes, which is exactly the amount of time we needed for this. So what we're going to do is create a new post on Facebook. I actually have been loving this platform the most lately, since the pandemic ended, because now not everyone's posting constant political things about that, and we're sort of getting back to normal things. But Facebook is fun because it's really social. Really anything goes on Facebook. You can switch topics from day to day and it doesn't freaking matter. On Instagram, same topic all the time, no matter what. Facebook, free game, which is also my jam. I like to be all over the place. Okay, so what I found on Facebook that works, here's my top 3. Give a quick update. We're right here. Sorry, let me scroll down. Give a quick update or opinion on something. People love talking on Facebook. It's a very conversational platform, right? ask a social question. That's probably my number one thing. That's what I love doing the most. I love human behavior. So I'm always like, what product existed when you were born, but is now irrelevant? Like, I love asking stupid questions like that. The whole goal is to get buzz going, interaction, comments happening on your page. Another really easy thing in crunch power hours like this, I'm going to teach you guys how to do something. If you share, this is really effective with social media. If you share a link or reshare a link that's viral or that's interesting news or interesting facts, people love that crap. They'll share it and share it and share it. It'll get shared a million times. So a really easy way to do that is if you go to your Facebook page and you click down at the very bottom, there's a little tab that says news. This is going to be like all the current stuff that's happening right now, right? The very first thing that popped up for me was inside Britney Spears and Sam Asghari's relaxed Hawaiian getaway. There's all this buzz going around about Britney Spears right now, right? You can literally click share right from whatever article you want to share. You can scroll until you find something relatable or something that you have like an opinion about or something that you think is interesting that you can relate back to your business or your personal development that you're doing, right? Like this Free Britney movement. I can share this link that really has nothing to do with anything, but I can say, I feel this journey so hard because I'm going through something similar right now, right? Whatever it is, like, it doesn't have to be something so crazy, right? It is that the thing that looks like a TV with a play button? No, although I don't know what that is. It says news on it and it's like a little newspaper. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is just create a really quick Facebook post. Super simple, one-liner, ask a question, ask for feedback. What's your favorite Saturday house cleaning product? It can be anything, okay? And just get your conversation going. And then we'll go to the next one. Okay, so the next thing with Facebook, what I've discovered, so you work your friends list a little bit differently, but I'm going to teach you how to start gaining new friends the most effective way on Facebook and most authentic way, right? And then also to like really interact with your current following. So I'm all about not just looking for new people, but really capitalizing on the people that you are gaining. Can I get an amen that people are hard to find, connect with, and like get? Yes. So can we not like really take the time to take care of them, be grateful, embrace that, and be like, oh my gosh, I got one new follower today. I'm gonna love this person so hard. You saved my life today. Because I was like, I'm gonna quit. I suck at this. And then I saw your follow and I was like, all right, I can keep going. Like, that's how we really need to be appreciating each and every single person that comes into our life. Like, we are here for the people, not the institution. So make sure that your people are taken care of, okay? So with your friends list, I learned that you can actually sort your friends based on interaction. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So if you go to your homepage on Facebook, you got to go to your profile page. So the one that looks like this, right? Like your actual profile page. You scroll down to your friends and you click on that see all friends. Is everybody there? Once you're there, there's a little button up at the top that says manage. Okay, and what it does when you do that is it pulls up something different. So usually you can sort by oldest to newest, right? Like everybody knows that. But this actually lets you figure out who you've least interacted with. So click on that top button, least interacted with, and this is who you've had the least interaction with the last 90 days. Okay, this is a list that you can start working on immediately. Maybe you have to have a certain amount of people in order to do interaction. My account is public. All of your accounts should be public, not private. If you don't have them managed, it might be based on how many followers you have. So if you don't have that, then do it the traditional way and just sort from oldest to newest. Yeah, I have an iPhone. Yeah, and it's on Facebook, not Instagram. So what I do is I go through this list and I look and I think, okay, if they don't have a profile picture, I unfriend them. And I constantly am doing that no matter what to try and keep my following fresh. But I go into profile pages that I haven't visited in a while, and I'll do the same thing that I do on Instagram. I like their last picture, I comment on their stuff. I'm not sending creepy DMs. I'm not being like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever. Come look at what I'm doing and buy my stuff. Like, I really am trying to genuinely connect, because let me tell you, when you spend the time doing this, you're going to be a lot happier in your business. Because if you just constantly are looking for that sale, one, it's never going to happen because you're looking for it. And two, you're going to end up with a business of people that you don't love, that you're not motivated to help, that you don't want to show up for every day. Does anyone have or has had that dynamic happen in their business where you're like, I don't even like these people? Like, I have no motivation to show up whatsoever every day. There has to be that element, right? Like, we all know, those of you that are moms, sometimes when we wake up in the day, we're like, I am not motivated by you people. I do not want to parent today. I do not want to adult, but it's important and you have to anyway, right? That's different. This is when you literally don't want to plug in or do anything. Okay, so this is just a really great way on your friends list to stay current and up to date with who's following you. It's such a huge clue into your niche, into the people that are ingesting what you're putting out there. Okay, so this exercise is really simple. Again, unfriend people that don't have profile pictures. Click on their names, go to their profile, spend 5 minutes. This is not a long exercise. Spend 5 minutes, like their last couple posts, leave a comment, and get out. Be social. Okay, the next tip, and probably the biggest one right now on Facebook, is groups. Joining groups and becoming active in them that are off topic. This will give you, it can also be on topic, it doesn't really matter, but this will give you a whole plethora of people who are interested in the same things that you are and are going to connect with you, and eventually, hopefully, friend you, eventually, hopefully, see what you're all about, and naturally build some of those connections when you publicly invite to stuff, right? So for the groups, what I want you guys to do is go up and hit your search tab. And here's the 3 areas that you can focus on if you want. And again, I join groups and unjoin groups all the time. I stay in groups that keep me engaged. How many of you guys stay in groups that keep you engaged? Raise your hand. If your challenge group is not keeping your challengers engaged, guess what? They're going to check out, right? If they're not motivated to show up and post, then switch it up. Figure out your formula. Okay, so I search by city, your current city. You can search by an interest that you have, or you can search a new area of education, meaning something that you want to learn about, personal development that you're going through, topics that are interesting to you, right? I want you guys to go in and I want you to find 3 groups. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. And I want you to search each of these topics and find a group to join. Just so you know, when you type in a topic, it'll pull up posts, people, groups, photos, videos, anything related to that topic. So you're just going to click on groups and it will pull up anything in that topic that's available. If that makes sense. Okay, so here's your homework assignment because it's almost time to go. Your goal is to find a group and then share value right away in that group. You want to establish that you are a person of value, that you're active on social media, that you're interested in connections, that you want to be social, right? You're not there to just be a fly on the wall. You want to have conversations, you want to have discussions, you're interested in the topic, right? How many people, how many of you guys love challengers like that? Who get in there, who get in the conversation, who post, who create discussions, who engage, right? You got to be that person in these groups in order to start really establishing some connection. So the way that you do that is, and here's a tip for your challenge groups too. And this is your homework. I want you to share value in one of those groups that you joined. And the way that you do that in a group setting like that, right? And think about this in your challenge group too. Share useful links that people can click on and easy read. Stop trying to be the person that has all the answers and all the information. Like, let other articles and other things and shareable content be your magic, right? Share or start discussions. So in your challenge groups, even, but in these groups that you're going to join, start a discussion about something, ask a question. Hey, I have a question about this topic. Does anybody have any experience in this area? What are your thoughts and opinions? Super easy. Okay. Another one is share latest tips and tricks. So if you join a group about makeup or whatever it is, some interest that you like share something that you've learned recently and try and give value to somebody else who's currently searching in that topic, and then answer questions. This one is how I actually established my confidence in becoming a coach. When I was a challenger, so long ago, and this is a really quick thing, and then I'll let you guys go. When I was a challenger, there were only Facebook groups with Beachbody. There wasn't an app, there wasn't anything else. There wasn't social, like Instagram, it was Facebook. So I joined a P90X Facebook group because I was going to start P90X. And I dove in immediately to the culture. I started to really read people's posts, ask questions, answer questions, and I got really, really involved. And I established myself as someone who other coaches look at and were like, this girl would make an awesome coach because she's like doing everything a coach is doing already, right? Like, these are the kinds of things that we as coaches usually are naturally pretty good at and already doing, but this is what you want to help your challengers feel comfortable enough to do in your challenge groups. And if you go into these new groups and you put yourself in that position of being a challenger and be like, I'm brand new in this group, how do I establish myself? And you start practicing that, you guys are going to find that when you start new challengers and you put them in your group, you're going to be able to tell them exactly how to establish themselves. Go in there, answer questions, ask questions, share links, right? Start discussions. You can literally tell them how to establish themselves in the group, and it will build their confidence. And immediately they'll feel safe enough to post in there. It'll become their place of sanctuary. They're a place for accountability. And that's what you want, right? But you have to help them establish that. And it's more than just go in there and post your first workout. That doesn't establish anything other than I'm going to do what my coach is telling me to do because I trust her and that's what I want. That's not establishing a culture between your challengers with each other, right? Again, the whole point is to create a culture of connection and conversation. So help people learn how to establish themselves. Does that make sense? And if you practice doing that in these new groups that you find, you're going to get a lot new friend requests on Facebook. You're going to make a lot more connections. And when you post content related to what you do for a living on Facebook, all those people are going to see it. You're expanding your audience constantly. And that's what networking is all about. Okay? Super easy, super simple. Pay attention to your followers and your friends this week. And if you practice some of this stuff, write down how many you're at. And in a week, see where you're at and see if you grew. And then you'll be like, that worked, right? Okay. I have the power hour next week too. And I think we're going to focus on connection. So I will see you guys next Saturday. Have a good weekend.